official wall,
Mabel's
so.
told you.
Okay, 4 o'clock, we'll call the Finance and Human Resource Committee meeting to order. Roll call, I see trustee McGregor is here, trustee Grundon appears by Zoom. And President Mansell's here and our treasurer Diane Tremel is here. I would like to have an motion to approve the agenda and approve the committee meetings from November 30th, 2023.
I so move to approve tonight's agenda and the minutes for November 30th.
First by McGregor, second by Grundon, second by Grundon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing no opposed, we'll pass that. Public comments on the agenda. We have Mr. Smith and Mr. Hummel in our audience. Do you have any public comment for our FHR? Any questions before we proceed on any of the agenda items?
I don't, thank you. I don't.
Okay.
Could we call on Carrie if there's questions pertaining to?
Since you are here representing the fire department,
I'm here engineering myself, but I could answer some if I can. I could.
okay, we are looking at some things on here about promotions for the fire department. So if we have questions, maybe we can go off table and ask you. Okay, thank you. Chairman comments? I have no comments at this time. I'd ask any comments from Diane as how are we progressing in our new year? Anything that you have?
Well, everyone got the reports, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I guess we're moseying along and wait for the taxes to come in and the water bills and whatnot, so. Okay, you're kind of breaking up there, Tiara. Do you have a question?
She's appeared on there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, she just covered her. Did you just cover your camera?
Yep.
Okay, no questions?
No.
Okay. Discussion and motion to approve the monthly bills, journal entries and previous month's financial report. I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second by McGregor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, nay? Hearing no nay, that passes. Item 8, a motion to award the full-time employees a $50 chamber gift certificate as a safety award for only one lost time accident in the past 27 years. This is a budgeted item. It's a total of $600. I will make that motion.
Seconded.
Second.
Second by McGregor. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Hearing no nay, that will pass. Item number 9, a motion to approve the length of service award. It's the LOS payment for 2023 qualified firefighters in the amount of $391 per firefighter and a annual correspondent maintaining fee of $1,060 for a total of $4,971.83. This will impact 13 of our firefighters, and this is a budgeted item line. Any discussion?
You gotta make the motion and second first.
Oh.
Discussion.
I'll make the motion to approve the LOSA payments for 2023.
Motion by McGregor, second by Radke. Discussion.
What was the budgeted line?
Budgeted, it's just in the budget, I think, for the fire department.
Yeah, I mean.
That it's there
The
already.
budgeted amount was actually higher because we didn't have the exact amount yet,
Okay.
but we're covered.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion?
How many firefighters qualified for that?
13. Anything else?
Is it just your voice or is it the computer?
We'll blame it on the computer.
Okay, hearing no other discussion, I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. I didn't hear you, Tiara. Are you an aye or a nay?
Yes, I said aye.
Aye. Hearing all our ayes, that will pass. Item number 10 is to approve the new fire department job descriptions as recommended by the Police and Fire Commission. I will motion that we change those job descriptions. I'm looking for a second.
oh, you're making the motion?
Yes,
Okay.
Second,
second by Tierra Grandin.
On all of them.
Okay, any discussion? I guess I can just fill you in as I did talk to Chairman Stewart of the PFC. He was in favor of this. I understand that he worked with Chief Warden on this and with Dwayne, is my understanding, what the emails that I have gotten. I did have some questions on some of it, that where it all came from, and he said that he spoke with Chairman Stewart spoke with the head of the fire program at Midstate Technical College, and that these are usually the ones that the minimums for volunteer fire departments, knowing that volunteer fire departments are, of course, volunteer and not full-time, and that's not a person's full-time job. So I think that looking them over, I'm content with them. I guess the only thing was, that one of that I got in a question that we are in progress, like firefighter one would move a step, it progresses, that you have to have the firefighter 1, 2, 3, you know, as your captain, lieutenant, assistant chief to chief, and that those qualifications, you would have to maintain them. We could add that on to each one, is that they are in progression. And I guess that would be the only change.
Yeah, I would be, that would make sense to me, just to make sure that it's just, this stuff still carries over.
So if they sort of skipped one, they went,
It'd be kind of like you'd have to have the
It's
qualifications.
just the minimum qualifications is what, like, not the job duties, it's just the minimum qualifications, or the minimum qualifications of the training and the, sorry, I'm flipping, trying to find it. Where is it? Sorry, I can't find it right now, because I see lieutenant and captain and all that, but that's that training piece carries over.
I guess,
Versus job duties.
no, that's fine. I think if someone could help explain what the note says on, because it looks like it's on each one
Mhm.
of a fire officer promoted after October 1st, 2018 may not act as a fire officer during an emergency operation till that individual completes NIMS training in accordance with SPS and obtains the minimum training and educational requirements as specified in completing a. So it says that they have to, but then we cut it out. We cut it out from the education, so that the note says they need to.
What is
I
happening?
guess, the fire chief tried to, zoom into our meeting, but
I haven't gotten a notification. Let me go this way.
maybe he could answer some of this, I guess, this way.
Okay.
But, I was informed that the fire chief was trying to zoom into our meeting, but what is he getting, error?
It says, said the administrator hasn't signed in.
Could he just join by speakerphone if that doesn't work?
I was just gonna try to text him the meeting information, but I'm not. Oh, was it? Okay.
So your question was, Caleb,
Sorry,
That they
I
have
was
to-
trying to explain that to Caleb too. So from my understanding with talking with, professionals in this, it's if, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, but if, let's say somebody was promoted prior to 2018 Cause that's when the state statutes changed with the SPS 330 and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna use you as an example. I don't know how all this worked in I'm just gonna use you because you're sitting here. So if Carrie was promoted to lieutenant before 2018, he does not have to fulfill all of these educational requirements. If he was promoted after October 1st of 2018, then he would have to. So what this is saying is that they're grandfathered in if they were promoted before 2018. Does that make sense? Did I explain that right? Do you have something to add?
Nope, that's pretty much.
Okay.
I get that, so,
Betsy,
Yep,
Betsy. I
Yeah.
think it's actually, if they did that stuff before 2018, they didn't have to have the certification. They still have to have the training, but not necessarily the certification.
oh,
We don't have to be state certified,
you just wanna be state certified,
we just gotta have the training.
the training.
That's
Okay,
correct here.
Sorry, that's what I meant by grand. Okay,
Okay.
as long as it makes sense, I mean, I just trying to reconcile that it says. What it says in the notes, plus we cut out the NIMS requirements. There, but I mean, if it makes sense and, okay,
I guess that I would probably like to amend the motion to add that they need to be done in progression.
and have a note just like this one, just saying that things carry over, the requirements.
The
carry over.
requirements carry over as you progress.
Potentially, that could be an error at some point. If we were to have a catastrophic Urkel thing, and we were to lose 4 members of the department, say all the captains are wiped out, or all the lieutenants are wiped out, and an assistant chief was gone, then a lieutenant could actually jump all the way up past.
Right, with that ICS structure, what I think we're trying to say is
You know what I'm
that,
saying? You would go from captain or lieutenant to captain, assistant chief.
right, cause they
Go
take,
into the-
You could potentially go all up to assistant chief.
right. And I think that would be like, we would make an exception, like, and recognize that, but what I think what we're trying to accomplish is. Cause I can't find it and it's not in here, just the standard
I know what you're trying to say is to go from
firefighter.
lieutenant, captain, assistant chief.
Well, that,
Second assistant, first assistant.
I don't think that's it. We don't have to follow that progression. What we're saying is that. You have to, cause what's in there is like you have the Don, the SCBA stuff. So just be,
You have to do that once right at the beginning.
right, but then you still have to be able to don it as a lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, not necessarily.
We
This
don't-
educational
we don't
piece.
have to. We never have to recertify.
I'm not saying that, the ability to, that's what it says in the firefighter piece.
So are we good with the documents the way they are, or?
With that addition, I'm good with that.
With the addition of the progression piece.
it's fine.
Did you hear me, Lon?
Yeah, you wanted the
Yes.
progression piece in there, Tiara? Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can't tell if it's her or the computer.
so I would amend the motion that the progression piece would be in there, basically saying on each of these that you would,
Can you say it with the exact wording, just so that we
well,
know?
that's,
I'm trying to find it. But I have no.
and of course, Carrie, if something would happen, that would be,
Yeah,
But that, I'm just saying that, potential, you could,
right, and then I think that would just be a board action of recognizing, then we could say, you know what, yeah, they may jump, but then we can extend.
and you might actually get to a point where you may not have enough qualified members with the amount of years or experience on there to not fill an officer position. Like, example, I'll tell you whatever, Babcock, Rodney Brockman, who she probably knew Rodney from back in the day. He wasn't even he was entry level firefighter when he was fire chief. He didn't have firefighter 1 certified, didn't have firefighter 2 certified, none of that, but he was fire chief. He had 2 years on the department and they don't much fire chief. Now he's progressively got firefighter 1, firefighter 2.
Well, I think that would just be the understanding if something.
If you put them words in there, how do you go back and retract them? I mean, I think the job descriptions are good, but you guys can hash it out.
Go off table to,
Just a friendly idea, you could use a progression and say if there aren't enough eligible candidates, you could have an acting role for X period of time and you can do it that way.
Right.
okay, I guess,
An acting fire chief or
That part would pertain to the police and fire commission, not the job descriptions. That would be the police and fire commission promotion rules.
and I'm not sure that we need to put on the progression and these job descriptions either, Tira, because I think that's really up to the police and fire commission. That they're the ones that recommend to the board. They'll look at these and then they decide that, hey, if these things aren't done in progression, they're not gonna bring them to the board. And I think that's their job.
Just can't figure
I
out.
don't know how you feel about that. Did you hear
I
me?
think it could go, yeah, I think it could go either way.
I think that
So eliminate,
I think we leave the motion as is and the job descriptions as is. And the progression part will fall into the police and fire commission's hand. Cause they're in charge of. We're just looking at job descriptions. They're in charge of
How they.
who is promoted and who is on the fire department or police department. And we are only looking at one thing here is job description. And it's up to the police and fire commission to do anything as far as promoting or moving people.
promotions is their part, but the actual job description is the village outlining what the qualifications for those jobs. The promotion process is their part. Once we
Right.
tell them what we want them to be qualified for.
Right, and I think the job descriptions do that. I think our biggest thing is that the progression steps are followed.
I think, okay, so for clarification, I don't think she's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think she's saying progression, like you have to be a lieutenant first before you be a captain, before you become a
No.
assistant chief. What
Yeah.
she's saying is the progression part of the basic, I finally found it, the firefighter job.
That as you rise up the ladder, you still are maintaining all the qualifications of a base firefighter.
Basic firefighter, so that means, so on the basic firefighter, it's essential duties and responsibilities is what she's talking about, not these steps of command.
Right.
So responds to
Thank you.
fires and operates various fire equipment such as hose lines and hydraulic rescue tools. That is just an understanding that moves up with you, but because it's not in these job descriptions, we have to put a clause, or she's suggesting put a clause that these essential duties and responsibilities carry over no matter what rank you are. So just because you're a first assistant chief doesn't mean that you don't respond, because it doesn't say it in there, is what I think she's saying. So like this piece, the essential duties and responsibilities of the basic firefighter needs to move up with each job description. Is that what you're trying to say, Tierra?
Yes, thank you.
That's in my table.
Off the table, yeah.
In my book, I think that's a lawsuit coming down the line at some point, just saying something.
Why? What's your reasoning?
If an assistant chief were to get medical reasons, can't go into a fire scene to stress the scenes, but he could still do the administrative end of it. And you're going to relieve him of his duties because he can't be at a fire scene and on a house.
Well,
That's discrimination.
no, then you get a medical clearance or a medical doctor saying
You
it.
wouldn't be able to have that thing, what you're trying to.
Well, you
put
can
in
make
there.
exceptions though.
I just don't see why you put it in there. That's me, but
Okay,
Tim Leverage is a prime example.
Well, I think but what I think Tara's saying, that should have been already the understanding. It's just a matter of getting it in print.
And that's where your liability, you're putting it in print, it can go into court. It can be an understanding, it's up to you guys.
Well, I guess, you know, these were looked over by Dwayne and the chairman, Scott Stewart, and they were passed on to me. I looked them over. And I guess, I'm not gonna amend the change right now. The motion is the way they are without the amended motion, without it. We can take a vote on it. And if it goes to the board or doesn't go to the board, they can decide. I think that with Chairman Stewart and Dwayne looking at these and Chief Warden, I'm gonna be content with what there are and let the Police and Fire Commission do their part in their role. So with that, I would like to take a vote. All in favor of passing the job descriptions as pertained here? We'll take a vote now. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
We didn't hear that.
was it a nay?
Yes.
Okay, that was a nay, yes.
Okay, 2 ayes, 1 nay. With that, 2 ayes, the motion passes. And we will go to the board for final approval. Item 11, to approve the Village of Port Edward salary and labor wages. What this is, I'll make a motion, I guess, here first. Make a motion to approve the Village of Port Edward's 2024 salaries and labor wage agreement. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Grundon. What this is, we have the employee handbook, which we okayed and looked over, and it's lengthy. But we all agreed before that we didn't want the wages in the employee handbook, because it changes from year to year and the benefits change and the cost change for employees for the benefit. So what they have is each department, the police department, Public Works has their own breakdown of how many holidays they get, how much sick time they get from years to years as they grow. So this is what this document is. It's no changes from anything that we've agreed on wages. Those are all done. We did that last year. So this document is to give to the employees to say, hey, this is what your wage is. This is what your insurance is. This is how many holidays you have off. This is how many, we don't have in the employee handbook. And that way too, if somebody comes in and says, how much does so-and-so make? It is public record. We don't have to give them a 200-page handbook. We give them this.
Okay, but the 2 pages that everybody got is just the end of the labor
Right.
policy. This is the labor policy that we've always had every year,
Okay,
but not knowing if we were continuing that or not. But
Right,
Ron's
so
recommending to continue it, so that's what you can hand an employee when they start.
sure. Okay.
does anybody have any other discussion on that?
At the end, the IRS standard mileage deduction rate for 2024 is 67 cents.
We don't know that yet for sure, so, okay, I'll look tomorrow, but yeah, but at the time this was done, we didn't know for sure,
Yeah.
that's why it's high.
Because that was the number
That
for
will change.
2023, but no, I just
Well,
looked at.
exactly, yes, but I know one time I thought I had it for the next year and then that was a temporary thing. So I thought we should wait and put it in when it's for sure, which maybe it is now, but yeah,
So
that's.
I suppose because we don't determine what that is, it's just whatever it becomes,
Mhm.
put it in, yeah.
And that's the reason too, that these numbers change from year to year. So again, like the mileage will change and other things will change from year to year, that's
And I
why.
think it's important to say the IRS standard mileage deduction, so it's not just an us made up thing, that's what we're following. So if it does change, let's say it even changes mid-year for whatever reason,
We
we're,
can,
we're
Right.
covered.
We usually don't know what money.
and that's, I think that's what you had in there, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
highlighted, yeah.
So, okay.
Any other discussion, Tiara?
No.
I know that you're struggling. She didn't have any other questions in here.
I don't think so.
Okay, with that, I will take a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. You know, Tiara, are you a aye or a nay? Aye. Okay, all ayes will, approve that. Old business. I have no old business. Anybody have any old business? New business? We'll just keep on trucking along. I have nothing. Correspondence received. Anybody receive any correspondence reference?
The email from, Mr. Thomas Guard to all of us. It's included.
Okay, yeah, an email by,
Oh, that was actually last month, I'm sorry.
is that the one last month or is
Yeah.
that the one about the post office? He sent another one about a post office. That was the pit, I thought.
Oh, yep, this was when he, suggested the new administrator, so that must have been with the meeting minutes from last month, so I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
Agenda items for next meeting. I don't have anything at this time. Does anybody have anything? I'm sure something will come up. With that, without, objection,
Is set meeting time?
oh, next meeting time, that's a good idea. I should look at that.
So we are, as we, public safety and, pit will be February 6th. So that Tuesday,
So
it's pretty much the same kind of schedule that we had this week.
The 8th.
you're looking at February 8th at 4 o'clock here. Okay, without that, without any objection, well, 4:30, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.